Hi everyone, welcome. I'm Jenna. This is Apple Dolly Creations. Let's get myself pulled up. And there we go. So, say hi when you're here. If you don't see the red button up in the corner there, you know you got me. Replay. Please put the hashtag replay so I can thank you for watching. So this is video number 2 today. So I'm trying to get caught up on everything, and I can't find my paint pen. So just like this morning, I was going through stuff that I've already started, already had made. Hi Carolyn, welcome. I hope you're feeling better. And I came across these ghosts. Now they can be used as bowl fillers or they can be used as little pillows. So this is the one that's partially made. He's not completed. But you see he's got little beads for eyes on this one. So we're going to draw the face on this one because I have 3 more of these that are, hi Wanda, hi Jody. So we have 3 more of these that are not finished. Hi Brenda. So I hurried up and coffee stained some real thin fabric. I thought this was cheesecloth, so I didn't go buy any. It is not, but it's a really, really thin fabric. So I hurried up and coffee stained because we're going to be using this with our ghost. And to get it to sit there. So on Telegram, I will share this pattern. Hi, Julie. So this is as tall as a sheet of printer paper. So, hi. So I will share this on Telegram. So if you see the back of it, you sew it all together, and then there's a slit in the back, and this is where you stuff it. And then you just whip stitch, hi Deborah, whip stitch this close, say that 3 times fast, after you stuffed it, because that is not seen. But I have tried, you know, leaving a part of this open to stuff, and once you get it closed, you do not get this perfect round anywhere. Even on the bottom, it's rounded. So it's really hard to get those rounded areas to use as a stuffing seam. So when I did this, I opened a portion of the back. Let me get this one because he is stuffed. And see, you just whip stitch it closed. I have not tried to glue this instead of sewing. So that is, if you want to print this out and try it. Now this is coffee stained muslin. This doesn't have any of the spices in it. It's just coffee. So if you saw my question yesterday, one of you asked me, hi Barb, that you don't like the smell of coffee. So I posted it on a chat because Ritz dye, you can get coffee colored dye, you can use watered down paint, you know, because, you know, I do that a ton, and stain your fabric. I mean, you can just use other spices and water and stain your fabric. But Barb from Chicken Pickens said that she uses this walnut stuff from Amazon, and I posted a picture of that. So if you don't want to use coffee, now these are a year old, they still smell like coffee a little bit, just a little bit. So if you don't like the coffee, I even suggested to this person tea. She don't like tea. So I was running out of ideas, so I posted the question to get all of your ideas, because I figured if she doesn't like coffee and tea and the smell, maybe some of you don't either. So if you don't like the coffee or the tea smell, maybe you can buy the stuff that Barb uses from Amazon. I do too, Jody. I love the smell. Now this still has a very faint smell of coffee. Now, if I want something to really smell and keep the smell for a long period of time, I will add my spices to my fiberfill. I will put some in and then put the spices in and put some more fiberfill in. So that way, oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Brenda. I made her on, I don't know if it was this page or the other page, but I did make that doll on Alive. So if you want something to really keep its scent and you love all of those spices, now I know Donna says that she's allergic to cinnamon. So if you don't like cinnamon or you're allergic to it like her, you can use allspice and ginger and nutmeg and even allspice. And if you don't like vanilla, you can use any of the other extracts. Maple right now would be great. You can. I've used coconut because I ran out of vanilla. So I know, right? Me too. I love it. So, you know, there are other options if you don't like the grunge recipe. It is very, very forgiving. You can add, take away, whatever you want to do to it. You know, it's the so if you don't like the coffee, you can buy coffee color Ritz dye or just use your paint. I know, I was doing that other fabric for this ghost and Tony thought I was brewing coffee. My house always smells like grunge. You walk in my house and that's what you got, grunge. So people think I actually put it in tart burners. I know, Barb. I agree. So this is what we're doing. Now these are already sewn, but I'm going to share that pattern. But isn't that cute? It's just a little. Now I do have a larger version of this, so I probably took the large one and made a little one. But like I said, this is 12 inches tall. Yeah, a little over 12. So this is what we're doing, and we're going to finish them. Let me put these aside. And this one has bead eyes. Now I've ordered them, they're not in. I have one left. So unless I'm making a Cyclops ghost, I don't have the bead eyes. Hey, there could be a Cyclops, right? Hi, Donna. So we're going to stuff this. There it is. So I know I sat it beside me. So when you're doing this, you have this little point and you have this point. And you got to make sure that you get these points. Hi, Sandra. Welcome. These points really stuffed, because if not, it's not going to look right having a flat. Hi, Deborah. A flat little point on either one of those. So when I do tiny little things like this, I use long tweezers. Now for the rest of it, I'm just going to use forceps. Hey, Marcia, welcome. So if you have hand problems like me, this is a learning curve. You got to keep using these and practicing and getting the grip of these, because they do lock. They do lock. So when I first started using these, I about threw them away. Hi, Sandra. So, oh, I know, Brenda. I know. Well, you can actually melt an unscented candle, put coffee grounds in it, let it harden up, and when it starts to burn again, you get that coffee smell. So if you use, now these are really long ones. I think I posted a link, maybe, that you can get different size ones, and they're like $9 for different size ones all in a package, and if I didn't, I'll post it. So if you got these and you're new to all of this, you know, stuffing and making dolls and stuff, keep using them, because you will get the hang of these. But this is a lot longer than the last ones. My other ones were ancient and they died. Hi, Colette. I know I saw somebody else pop up there. So I'm starting with a little bit, and I'm taking these tweezers. Now, because I want to get this little point right there, I'm going to take my fiber fill and wrap it around and hold it. So I'm going to push it up into that little point. And I'm going to push it up there as far as I can get it without pushing the point of these tweezers through the fabric. And once I get it there, I'm going to hold it so it doesn't come back out. And once I do this a couple of times, that point will stay stuffed. So if you keep taking your fiber fill and twisting it, when you put it in, you can get it to go exactly where you want it. And the twist, by twisting this, it doesn't take the fluff out of it. It just expands right back up. So if you twist it really tight, it will expand again. I know, Jody, me too. I try to avoid it, but you know. But these have a flat back too, so it's nice to like push it without going through. So if you push your tweezers through your fabric and make a hole, use that as part of your design. Put a bow over it or something. Or if it's like right on the seam, you can turn it right back side, turn it inside out and sew that up again. But sometimes you can't do that. Oh, you're welcome, Deborah. So you don't have to worry about, I know on one of the doll videos, I was saying use your tweezers and twist your fiber fill, and she said then it's going to take so much more because it's going to stay that. It's not going to stay like that. It will fluff right back up. This has a lot of memory to it, and you will not be disappointed. So I'm going to start using bigger chunks to get this head. So when you're stuffing your fiber fill in with these, every time you go to stuff it, it's going to lock. See, that's locked. I use my middle finger and my thumb to control these because I have problems with this finger. So, and I just learned to just pull it back apart. So find what fingers work for you, you know, and just get that action. It took me a while because I have problems with my hands, so I didn't think I was going to be able to use them. But I want this stuffed as firm as I possibly can get it. Nobody can actually tell you the right way to use these. This is something that you have to figure out on your own, because everybody uses these differently. I forget who it was having a problem. Oh, that's a good idea. Barb says to put tape over this lock so it doesn't lock. You can also have them just cut those off. I mean, cut one of them off at least. You would have to have a grinder. Oh, yeah. Rolling your, yeah. Because it does help if you've got tiny, especially tiny arms that you're stuffing. Roll that right around your tweezers stick it in, and when it fluffs back up, it helps fill that arm. So I got 2 arms on this guy. When I'm doing something really tiny, I really roll. Well, I don't use this big of a clump, but I roll it really tight. So if you're doing tiny little dolls, I think they're harder than the big doll because they're so little. Oh yeah, so Barb says she puts Band-Aids around to cushion. That's a good idea too. See, no matter how many years you've been doing this, you always can learn from somebody else. Hi Ken, welcome. We are making a ghost. So I like that Band-Aid idea. I'm going to do that. Even those foam rollers, you could take that hard plastic part out and maybe put that over. I don't know how that would work. So I was making sure I got that glue tool plugged in and on because I don't know, I have an issue with that, getting it to remembering it. So I'm taking a little bit because I'm going to stuff the bottom point on this. Oh, wow. Yeah. Those tiny little arms are hard. So, I don't have any in here. You know the foam rollers, the ones that have the hard plastic that are bendable, that you roll your hair up and then bend them over? Those are really nice to add to your small doll arms because they bend, so you can give them elbows. I did that on here one time too. I think that was last Christmas. I was doing a Santa Claus, a tiny one. So let's get this going. So it doesn't matter how many years you've been doing this or if you are a very new beginner, there's always something to learn. 90% of the videos I watch, besides all of yours, and I learn a ton from you guys, I watch sewing videos. People think when you sew, you can make clothes, you can do all kinds of stuff, but there's different types of sewing. A few months ago, I had a lady wanting me to alter a dress, and I tried to tell her why her fabric cannot be taken in as much as she wanted. You know, when you get to formal wear, some of that brocade fabric, you can't make it form-fitting. She wanted to argue about that, and I told her I wouldn't guarantee her dress because once she starts dancing, she was going to a party, and once she starts sitting down and standing up and getting in and out of the car, the fabric's going to pull, and that's exactly what it did. So, but people, you know, sometimes you just can't tell somebody something, even if they don't know how to do something. But she was so upset about her dress because the fabric started to pull. So, but I made her sign a waiver that I wasn't responsible because I knew exactly what it was going to do. Like, I don't mind doing hems and zippers and, you know, repairs. Well, I do mind it. I don't like it, but I'll do it. But I'd rather make something totally Mr. Donna, totally from scratch, than to tear something apart and put it back together. You don't either, Barb? You have to really know your fabrics when you're doing alterations, because different fabrics. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Angie. Different fabrics react differently. You have to know, you know, if they have no stretch to them, you can't make them stretch. No matter what you do. You like making kids' clothes? I used to make all my kids' clothes until my son came home one day and asked me if I knew that Hills department store sold clothes. Because he had been at a friend's house. Like, of course I know. So that was the end of me making their clothes. So I'm really jamming this in here because I want this tight. I used to like Hills department store. There was another one too that closed about the same time. I can't think of what it was. She did. For her age, she did. But she wanted her dress to be form-fitting, and you just can't make brocade fabric form-fitting. It's not going to work. It's going to pull at the seams if it's too tight. And the dress looked beautiful on her when she came here and tried it on. I don't know, Gold Circle. Hi, Mom. But I don't know, Gold Circle. But I tried to tell her you can't make brocade fabric form-fitting. And the dress looked, she looked so nice in it. But I did as she requested. I took it in less than she requested too, but. So he's turning out pretty good. So this could be a bowl filler. If you want your patterns larger or smaller and you don't know how, or your computer doesn't do that, your printer doesn't do that, take it to an office supply store and they can do it. So when I do that, I do 25% and then I'll do a 50%. If you go any bigger than 50%, if you have a lot of pieces to your pattern, they will get distorted. So, so you can do something like 50%, and then the one you enlarge 50%, you can have that one enlarged, but not your original. If you go any bigger than 50% on your original pattern, your pieces will not fit together. So you can take one pattern and you can make several sizes out of one pattern. Hi, Deborah. So he has, can you see it? There's an air pocket right there. So we need to get that filled. That's why, if you notice, I'm always feeling and turning whatever I'm stuffing over. That's what I'm feeling for, these divots. It just means that there's not enough fiber fill in it. And you can also take your item and roll it, and that will help distribute the fiber fill. So somebody from the other channel in a video said that I fidget too much with, I think it was a doll that I was doing on that one. That's how I know whether I have enough fiber fill or not. See, there's a really big divot right there. So that's where I'm pushing this fiber fill to fill that in, because this side is good, but this side is not. See that? I see you, Mom. So we want our ghost to have a waistline, but not that little. So see how much fiberfill I'm shoving just in this one area? Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. I know I've been told I use way too much fiberfill, but if I'm not happy with it, it's not leaving my sight. What a little waistline. Well, she could be a little bit stylish. She's a ghost, but she can be a little stylish. In Ghostland, they don't have Weight Watchers. So I'm just feeling right here where this opening is, and then we're going to whip stitch it closed. So look, that is all gone. There's no more divots there. And see, that's the back. And see that she's got a coffee stain. She was sloppy. She looks like me. I had coffee on me today. You're mostly listening? Oh, come on now. We need 100% participation. So I'm just going to thread a needle and whip stitch this close. Ken says he's partially listening to us. We're going to have to get Donna after him. Okay, double thread. Oh, yeah, no, you can't do that, Ken. We didn't know you were driving, so you pay attention to the road. So my knot's on the inside, and I'm just going to go up and over because this is not seen. He partially listens to you. So I'm just giving loose stitches, and then I'm going to pull them. So when I pull my thread to pull a stitch in or something, I always hold it. I think that's a husband's job, Donna. Only to partially listen. I am so tongue-tied today. So I don't want this to come loose, so I'm holding it with one hand and stitching with the other. Now, a curved needle would be good in this situation, which we didn't think that far ahead. So I didn't get one out, and they're in the other room. Hi, Julie. It keeps telling me you're here for some reason. Maybe it hasn't recognized that I've already said hi to you. Okay, so let's knot this off. So I'm going through the loop with my needle twice, and I'm really going to pull this. That's why I use this really heavy duty thread. I found, where did I find it? Amazon. You can get a really big spool of this, a lot cheaper, and it comes with needles. And I'll post that here too. It's button thread, carpet thread. It's also, I've also used the wax thread. The wax thread is nice because it doesn't get tangled. So I'm taking my needle back in and coming out just to hide the tails of the thread. It keeps popping up over here that you are watching. So I don't know why it wants me to keep recognizing you. So it's done. So I'm going to take this, see how sheer this is? I had, I guess I'm out, a bolt of cheesecloth, but I guess it's gone. So this is like sheer curtain fabric, but it's really sheer. So this is what we're using. So what I'm going to do is I have this doubled, and I'm going to lay him down from his arm right at his neck and over. I want his hands to show through the edges, but I want it to be gathered around his neck. So I'm going a little beyond and a little beyond, like maybe 1.5 inches beyond. Now this doesn't rip, it's curtain fabric. And I'm gonna lay this down and cut it. Get this all straight. So if you have a sheer curtain, you can do this. But I actually thought when I saw this on the shelf, I thought it was cheesecloth because I didn't look really well. I didn't pay that close of attention. I thought, oh yeah, I got cheesecloth. And I'm going on the ghost right here because I want this, his, whatever here to be sticking out. Whatever that's called on a ghost. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Wanda. So as long as it tells me y'all are watching, I'm gonna welcome you. So I don't know why it keeps telling me that y'all are here that I've already said hi to. So I'm just going to cut this right across. Now if you're not on my Telegram, it's at the top of the page. That's where this pattern is going to be. So this side is not even though it's a ghost, we want him to look a little bit fashionable. He just started haunting, so he's not, his clothes aren't drab yet. So there we go. I lost all comments. Huh. There we go. So we need to get it over his head. So I'm going to fold this in half. Now you can always take more, but you can't put back. So right at this point, it's folded here and it's folded here. I'm just going to take a little bit of the corner off, just like that. So when you open it up, you know your hole is bigger. So that's definitely not big enough. But remember, you can always take more. So there. So we slide this over his head. Now you can do many layers of this. Creepy cloth would be nice, but I can't find it. I also have, let me get this out of the way. This is fishnet, so we're going to use a piece of this also. I also threw this in coffee. Find an edge to it. So you can use this. I've been looking for creepy cloth and cannot find it. So I'm using, this is the point. So I'm going to put this over his head. Let's double that. Let's add a couple layers. So I even checked, like sometimes when you can't find something in the store, you can find it online, like Michael's. Wait a minute. Let's get this, it's tangled. There we go, because we can cut this down. Okay, let's put this over his head too. So we're going to put his head through 2 of these holes. But I really wanted creepy cloth. And we're just going to cut this. Now this does not have to be even, but where it is knotted, you want to cut below that knot. So I'm cutting it at different angles. Some of it is even, some of it is not, but I don't want it to go any lower than the bottom of this fabric. So, because I don't want to cover up his point there. So on Sunday, I'm in an event, and my daughter is going to be joining me because we are making her thing that she made for her house. So there. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's a ghost. So now we're going to take this and we're going to push it up on his arms so that we can see the arm, but we're going to take the side of the fabric and bring it around on his waist to close that in on both sides. Now you can glue this with this overlay on it. It's going to hold, and we're going to tie that. So this is some fabric that I had a tiny bit of this sunflower yellow paint that I dyed fabric with. Who's going to Dollar Tree? My Dollar Trees don't have it. Nope. Walmart doesn't have it either. That's why I went online looking for it. So we're just going to tie it right around his waist. Nothing fancy. Just tie it. So we're going to work on his face. We're going to put a rusty bell around his neck. So what I'm starting out with first is a pencil, and I'm going to sketch this on. This is another ghost that I found in my tote. We're going to do that face. Now this is a really heavy terry cloth, real heavy. But that's the face we're doing. You don't know what to do with it? Donna, you can add it to anything Halloween. Oh, thank you. You can do anything Halloween. Like instead of this fishnet, you could put creepy cloth over it. So I'm going to duplicate that face, only a lot smaller. So I'm going to start out with the oval nose. And I always start out with the nose because then you get everything centered. So there's 2 half oval eyes. And then there are like cheeks. And then the mouth is just a sideways oval. I don't know if y'all can see that. So I'm taking my really fine point Uniball and I'm going to trace over this. So I found, for those of you who say you can't make faces, I found, and I purchased a bunch of them, doll face stencils. So I'm going to post those so that I'm using just a Sharpie. Hi Becky. We are making a ghost. I'm waiting on the other ones to come in because there's different ones. They come in a pack of 5, I think, different faces. So if you're interested, let me know, and when they come in I will post them, all the different ones. Coffee, vanilla, cloves. Those are, I love all those spices. That's why this is my favorite time of the year. So up in the corner, she's looking up. Oh, okay. That's what I do when I'm watching videos. I'm always working on somebody else's stuff. Right now I'm in a shop, so I'm working to get it done for Christmas. So that's what we have so far. So I'm taking my paintbrush, get a smaller one, and I'm wetting it. Now you've seen me do this a lot, but we're doing the nose and the cheeks. So I'm going to wet the nose. And the cheeks. No, I don't drink out of this bottle of water. This is only here for crafting. So I got the nose and the cheeks wet. So I'm taking the red paint marker. This is Walmart. Now the water will spread into your fabric, but when it dries, it doesn't leave, on this coffee fabric, it does not leave a watermark. So the nose, I'm not rubbing with my finger like I do the cheeks. So if you don't want to buy, you can do this with just a regular marker, red marker too. But I'm leaving the nose solid. Oh, that sounds nice. You'll have to post that. That's what we got. So my white marker has died. Okay. On the floor like everything else. It goes on the floor during a video. So I'm just taking a skewer, and this is just a Blick Studio white paint, and I'm just getting just a little bit on the end. And I'm going to do right in the upper eye, just a little dot. Stick it in there because I don't want white paint everywhere. Oops, that fell. So I'm going to take my tiny little marker and just do dots. Oh great, Becky. Dots in the cheeks. Just freckles. So this skewer has a really sharp point, and I'm just on the side of the mouth going to do a faint line of white paint, just to highlight. So I have the Rusty Bell and another piece of this fabric, and I'm going to feed it through, or attempt to feed it through this opening. So if y'all haven't noticed, I use skewers so much for all kinds of things. You can get them at Dollar Tree, Dollar General, and pull this through. There we go. Thank you. So we're going to tie it around his neck. No, we're not. We're putting it in his hand. Let me set this aside, and we're going to make a banner. Let me grab the fabric. Yeah, that's a different shade. So I don't want to use the same. This is just a yellow, and we're going to fold this 3 times. I want 3 pieces of fabric, so I'm cutting on the folds. So we have 3 pieces of fabric. And I'm just guesstimating the center, and I'm going to cut up to the top on each corner. So we're making a banner. And we're going to put Boo on here and put it in his hand. So I'm going to move that I'm getting all these little pieces of fabric or strings away. So you can do this with stencils, you can do it with your Cricut. I'm using a marker, and I'm just writing Boo. 1 letter on each one. So our video on it's Creative Crafters Ensemble event group, and Heather and I are on at 5 o'clock. See? Just Boo. So I'm going to take this bell back off this fabric. We're going to put it back on, but we're going to take it off right now. I'm using jute. I got a little ahead of myself, which is nothing unusual. So I'm tying a knot on one end, double tie it. So I want a big knot. And then I'm going to trim not all of the tail off, but a little bit. So what I'm doing is I am just measuring how much of this that I need. So right there, and then I'm going to put another double knot. And the same, I'm leaving a little bit of the tail, just so we can untwist it and pull all these fibers apart, because I like that. So if you have a problem doing this, you can use a straight pin and just pull it all apart. But this jute comes apart so easy. I can't imagine working in a factory that makes this with all that jute fiber flying everywhere. Probably machines do it. See how I frayed those? So I'm finding the center, and I'm going to squeeze it to mark it, just to give myself a marking. So I'm taking one of the O's, and the center of this I'm going to put on the center that we just made, and I'm going to fold it over the jute and glue it. I need another hand, or a hand that's working. So I'm using a straight pin to lift that fabric up over. So that O is right in the middle of all of this. So I'm going to leave a little bit of a space and put the B and do the same thing. Get it where I want it, hold it, and glue it. So I do not do Scary Halloween. I don't do Halloween much at all. Well, I don't do it at all. But except for stuff like this. So you'll never see me do a scary Halloween project. So I'm doing that with all 3 letters, making sure that there's the same space between the 2. And I'm using my finger as my spacer. Sometimes they don't work, but I can use them as spacers. Excuse me. Somebody outside is cutting grass and it's choking me, and I've never had a reaction to grass ever. So I'm just using a straight pin to pick up the back and push it over. So there's our boo. Now we're going to glue this in his hand. So I'm using a tiny dot of glue because I don't want that glue to come out from behind that knot on the jute. That's why I doubled it. Oops, I pulled it right off. So we could, I don't have, yes I do. This is coffee, plain coffee. I'm going to take a tiny brush and dip it in the coffee, and I'm going to go right around the edges of each letter, and that's going to darken it just to make it stand out a little bit more. So it already smells wonderful with the coffee. We're just adding more coffee scent. But when that dries, it's going to give just a little bit of a dark halo right on the edge of each one of these little banners. Now when you make your coffee grunge, make sure you leave it in, store it in the fridge, because if you think about it, especially with all the spices in it, it's food, it will mold. But it will keep in the refrigerator for quite some time. Okay. So let's get a piece of jute. Longer than I need. And let's put this bell back on him. So if you have a problem getting stuff through the holes, try a needle or a skewer, like, or tweezers. I had someone tell me that they can't do this, but you can. It just takes patience. And we're going to put it around his neck, and we're just going to tie it, because when ghosts are coming, you want to hear them, and these ring. You think we can hear that? Hi Kathy. Hi Teresa. So I'm just going to cut these ends off. So that's what we have so far. So you can hang anything on him. I just thought the rusty bell, since it's coffee stained fabric, would be nice. Now see, that is already dried, that water, and you see it does not leave a water stain. And I think it's because of the coffee fabric. Because you know, you add water to fabric, you have a water stain. But when the stain, you have that coffee stain on here, it does not. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. So, I actually don't like that belt on him. So I'm taking it off. I keep looking at that and I think, I don't like that. So I'm just going to put a couple dabs of hot glue on its side and push this sheer fabric into it. And I'm not doing the mesh here at all. It can just hang however it hangs. So you can put a bell on his neck, a rusty bell. My poor fingers today, I have put them in the glue so much that I'm going to have blisters. So I'm pushing this up. This arm, I'm going to put a little dab of glue just to keep this, because I want to see his hands. Push that right into there. So it's not going to come over his hand anymore. So what you think? And I will post this pattern on Telegram. So if you want it, now I've not tried to glue this together, but as you saw today when we did Frankenstein, we glued his pants. You couldn't tell. if you use a tiny bead of glue and you really push that glue, the fabric into that glue on both sides, you want that glue to go into the fibers of the, oh, thank you, Donna. Oh, thank you, Barb. You wanted that glue to go into the fibers of the fabric. So you couldn't tell on Frankie today that that was not sewn. So doing this, I think I would let the glue, if you're going to glue it, let the glue totally harden before you turn it right side out and try to stuff it. So remember, you need two, you have to cut two of these out, but just make a slit right here around the arms on one of the pieces of the ghost. This is the back, so that you can stuff this. But this is just coffee stained muslin. You don't have to use coffee stain. You can use fur, like this one. This is a terry cloth. Now this is a total different one because it has a gusseted bottom. But I don't ever remember making this, so I'm not sure how long I've had this. So, hi Lori, welcome. But when you print it out, this is what you're going to get. So then you want to cut two. I would draw it on your fabric, sew it, then cut it out of your fabric, then turn it right side and put your slit right there for stuffing. But you want to stuff it really firm. Now you can use this as a bowl filler, a little pillow. You actually could put a hanger on it if you have a tree. Use it as a tree topper. If you have a tree that you decorate all the time. Hi Rita, welcome. Thank you, Jaretha. So if you're not on my Telegram, the link is at the top of the page. Just go over and join it and you can print him out. So this is actually, I started with a coloring book page, a preschool coloring book page that I enlarged to make a bigger pillow, but it was just a coloring book page. So if you're looking for simplified patterns, go look for preschool coloring books because they have just simple shapes in them. Yes. A doorknob hanger, window hanger, yes. He'd be adorable on a door. So there you go. So if you make him, I have a page, Apple Dolly Show and Tell. You can post your pictures on. You can post anything on it, but you can share your, whatever you're making on it. It's Apple Dolly Show and Tell. And I'll put another link to that on the page too. But there you go. I hope you like it. Please try it. Yes, Kathy. As long as it's preschool, they're just shapes. There's not a lot of intricate designs. So that's what this originally came from. So go find a preschool coloring book. You can get them at Dollar Tree. So God bless you. And thank you to the one that told me I say this every single video, because now I'm going to make sure that I say it every single video, because I do hope that God blesses each and every one of you. And whether you know it or not, I said it today on the video I did this morning, that I pray over every single one of these videos for whoever is watching, for God to bless and for God to help me with my hands. But so if you ever need prayer, let me know. I'll pray for you. I have a long list. So God bless you. Have a wonderful night. I will see you Friday at 7. I won't, Barb. I won't. And I didn't realize I said it every video until it was brought up to me in a not so nice way this week, because I had to take 5 people off my page for nastiness. But I won't put up with it. You know, I don't make anybody come and watch me. I actually don't care if anybody watches me. Seriously. I do this because it's fun, it's relaxing, but I enjoy sharing with all of you, and I enjoy watching yours too. So if you don't follow any of the people on here that have pages, please go follow them, because you will be amazed at what everybody comes up with. I'm on Friday at 7, and then again Sunday with my daughter at 5 o'clock. We're in an event, and the project we're making is all hers. So you can get a little bit of idea of my daughter's creativity. I know, Barb. I know. And I love all of you. I honestly do. So have a great night. Thank you for all the hearts. I appreciate that. And I'll see you Friday.